Brah, brah, brah. Booyakasha, big up yourself.
Try to get us canceled. Hell
Hey.
yeah.
Hey, I'm doing my Ollie G impression. That's all. That's all. Totally cool.
Better than you trying to do a Jar Jar Binks impression. Say that
Yes.
much.
Yeah. Can't pull that one off. Not with this fucking dumb face.
No. How you feeling? How you doing?
Mixed bag.
Mixed bag.
Yeah, we'll go into it a little bit today. How about you?
You ain't got to talk about nothing you don't want to. I know we talked a little bit off camera. It's some personal ish that you may or may not want to blast out into the world on a podcast. Even given our limited listenership.
No, I'll word it in a way that makes a lot. I'll word it in a way that sounds positive and makes a lot of sense. That doesn't like put names or like specific things out there. It'll be a positive thing. I think I can figure it out. I can write jokes, so I better be able to speak about like semi-complicated things in a way that like it's way better. What the things that are going on are way better. Yeah. So. By the way, for those that don't know, if this is your first episode, I'm Adam.
I'm Kate. Welcome. We do a podcast called Adam and Kate Plus Hate, but you know that. You clicked on this.
If you fell into this some other way, thank you.
Let us know how that happened so I can maybe try and steer into whatever. I mean, look, I'm not interested in trying to play the algorithm game, but if we can fall into an algorithm by accident, that would be very funny.
Yeah.
We get emails every once in a while to the podcast email telling us like which things we're trending in, and it's like one or two things that make sense and like a third thing that is just like you are not a legitimate service.
What are some of those things that make sense and what are some things that don't, since you read the emails and I can't read?
Let me see if I can actually just pull one of these up, since this makes for excellent radio. Though, so the email address will get emails from like, there's all these like fucking leeches that are trying to make like a buck off of podcasts. Like, you know that line about it's like how do you make money in a gold rush? You sell the shovels.
No, I've never heard that before. That's fucking cool. It makes sense.
So it's a lot like, yeah, it's a line, right? Of like, you're not going to make money in a gold rush by finding gold. You're going to make it by selling the shovels. And so these people are trying to invent shovels to sell people. And they're never any good at it. Because like the actual people making a killing are people selling the equipment, and the people who like have various service, like the service that we use here. It's not someone trying to tell us how to like improve our SEO.
Don't even know what that means.
So search engine optimization is what that means.
That sounds gross.
Yeah, no, it's real not good.
Yes.
This person wants me to send them an episode and congratulating us on our success. Asked me to send them an episode that I liked, and then they're reaching out because they've created a free data-driven quiz that helps podcasters reach their goals and tells you which of the 12 podcaster personality types you are.
Get fucked. What personality types? Suck all my dick all the way from the back. Get the fuck out of here, robot bullshit.
It's so funny. So yeah, there's a lot of dumb shit like that. Let's see.
I like how the real time you're looking up. I'm guessing this is the same when I launched Sweetest Boy, which is making a comeback this year, come hell or high water.
It says in our Apple Podcast rankings, We are 48 in 90s dance revival and number 68 in hate.
Be a lot cooler 69. First of all,
So
dance
much cooler.
revival? Dance revival? All right, fuck it, that's fine.
90s dance revival.
Babe, we're killing it. We're killing it. Supreme money is coming soon. We're a we're a Blue Chew family in 2 weeks.
And on Spotify, we're number 26 in Adam Graham favorite songs.
Cool. Shout out Adam
I don't
Graham,
know
I
who
guess.
Adam Graham is.
Yo, thanks for listening to us, Mr. Graham. I appreciate it. I feel like they're making these things up.
Yeah, I refuse to believe that we're number 12 in the category of music commentary in Sweden.
You don't no. That one I can see being a reality only because I don't think that a lot of their podcasts are focused around music. They're more like focused on like improving their society's lives and like figure out how to effectively spend money to benefit their citizens. Not so,
Okay.
they might want to talk
Yeah,
about
you're
music.
right. You're right.
Shout out Sweden.
Though the very best thing that we've got to any of the podcast accounts was today when someone hit me up to say that their friend just moved to the area and they're trying to do them a solid by being a wingman and wants us to hit them up on Snapchat and date them.
Absolutely not.
To which I responded, "This is a podcast. Do you want both of us to date your friend?"
There is
They haven't responded yet.
there are some niche websites that cost anywhere from $2.99 for a 24-hour trial or $170 for a year as long as you got a VPN if you live in the South. And you can watch all sorts of videos that involve multiple podcasters dating friends that just moved to places. It's a genre, I swear to God. It has to be at this point. They've run out of everything else. Ugh.
Why a VPN? Is this illegal?
All right,
Or is
so,
porn illegal down there now?
well, I think it's wild that, like, they've taken away a tutorial of how to make a woman come. And like, they're not going to anyway. So it's all about gun gods and Clemson down here, which is again, very weird. But it's about, I think they're doing it because, Jesus would be so mad if
You found out you
this,
were touching yourself?
yeah, like it's so like you get to use a VPN to get around that stuff just for here. So it's gotten to the point where like you can't buy, we have a lot of novelty shops in my area. And one of the biggest novelty shops is Adam and Eve because they're based out of Carborough, Raleigh area, North Carolina. They can no longer sell movies if the website, if like the traffic, the IP matches up to like a select few southern states. It will never show movies. And
Weird.
they've been so anti human expression and they've used that argument to also go against other groups that have been othered, like members of the LGBTQ community, non-whites, really
Yeah.
anyone who's not Christian, white Christian. They're using this as subterfuge, as like this is destroying family values. Well, I mean, maybe the family has no more value in 2026, and maybe we should have a collectivist approach to things. Because if it takes a village, well, our fucking huts are on fire, and the chief that we've elected doesn't seem to give a shit. So maybe we could take a look at things like fixing the goddamn world instead of like making homelessness illegal in North Carolina. Fucking, it's a felony. It's a felony now. It's a felony. And the comment about selling illicit substances, that has to go for people that are going any form of addiction treatment, trying to get off of things. So anything that's like a substitute that you can get on a daily basis, they are now considering that an illegal substance and are going to use that as a way to crack down on the encampments and the people that are helping. So it affects me because one, I have been homeless before. I'm clearly not now. There are people that I know who are vets or they still are vets that had went through stages of that because the VA system is so efficient. And it is like where I live, they have installed like skate stoppers, like so people can't skate, which destroy marble way more than skateboards, by the way. Don't know if you guys know that. The rain destroys marble more than skateboards do long term. The Grand Canyon is proof of that. Sorry, you guys don't like science down here, but they've now put up these sleep stoppers. They've put up spikes, so
Mm-hmm.
people that live in encampments can't just be out in public. And recreational sleep is now something you have to dispute in a court of law. And these people also get fined, which makes it harder for them to find any way to even remotely get to an even level, much less get ahead. So it's just cruelty upon cruelty upon cruelty upon cruelty. So that was that's
Yeah,
one
the cruelty
portion.
is the point. They're really into. They're really good off on punishing people.
Yeah, it's like their
Yeah.
kink.
Yeah. I mean, their whole cosmology involves like buying hell insurance. So
It it's frustrating. It's like I got hit with that. And when I checked my Insta messages today, I got hit with death threat. I don't know, number. If I'm keeping a running total, we'll say over 50, maybe close to
neat.
60. Yeah. And this is a person that I won't expose the name. This is someone who I knew from a music message board community, a forum that might even be reviled. And I knew this person in the real world before they had whatever psychotic break I'm assuming they had. And I sent it to you. The language was great, very definitive. And the other person that was named, I let them know, like, hey, you have kids. You need to know about this. They were very appreciative. But like, for those of you that have never received a death threat because you do something creative, I've gotten them from comedy. This is the first time I've gotten a death threat just for existing. So that's.
Neat.
Well, I mean, the Jewish ones, but like directed specifically just to me. It's kind of nice to be recognized, I guess. It's like a
Yeah,
student
it's
pride.
you're you're really angering this one mentally ill person. So I don't know, maybe do better?
Will fine. The other part of the mixed bag is like I don't think I mentioned it. I might have. No, I did in our Origins episode. I had reconnected with my cousins who I hadn't seen in 30 and 25 years, respectively. And I finally got to FaceTime with one of them yesterday. And
That's awesome.
it was very heartfelt. And they were very happy to see and see my face, hear my voice, and I the same. And it looks like there's going to be a a healing of the three of us, even though we've been disconnected for so long. So I'm actually really happy about that. That was the thing, the personal thing
So
people worry
y'all
about,
like
right?
completely fell out of touch, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
That
had
like
no idea where they were, like how to get a hold of them, nothing, right?
no, and like we've been slowly. And here's the thing: I understand, and I said this in our conversation. I can say it here. Is I don't. This is not talking out of school. If you got a message from a long lost relative out of the blue, like, it would be kind of jarring, and then it's like, "Oh, what do they want?" And it's like, "Yo, I just wanna make sure you're alive. I haven't seen you in forever. Something told me to reach out to you," which is how I got to where I am with them now, and it was just cool to, like I felt like I was in single digits again, hanging out with them, going to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then going to Subway when it wasn't gross, and, like, just being a kid and being, like it was almost like those Christmases you have with, like, your family members that you may grow distant from years later, but those core memories that you always give a shit about, that you always look back to and you compare things to. It felt like getting back to that place with them. So I've only spoken to one of them, I've texted with the other, but it was a very wonderful thing, and I'm very and I think they're both very happy that, like, I am real, I am who I say I am, and there's no like money seeking. It's just like, yo, I just want to make sure you're okay. It's been forever. And I think that came through. And I'm very happy that it went from I don't know if they're even alive to okay, we're communicating. So hopefully we'll be able to see each other in the real world soon. So like I said, bit of a mixed bag, but we're ending on a positive note.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you're able to reconnect. That's yeah. We don't got to get too heavy on it, but I think you know my thoughts on all of this.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm very glad that be able to reconnect. That's awesome.
But you, how is your week? It's been about, well, weeks since we've been on here, but we've been communicating back and forth. But like, how
Yeah.
has your week been?
I had my final day at my last job this past Thursday. I It still doesn't feel totally real, but I'm very glad to have that behind me. Like I'm gonna miss the people I worked alongside of. I had a really nice moment with my now former boss where I was just like, "Hey, thank you for taking a chance on me." You know, I got hired into that gig from like straight up like just the service industry. Like I didn't have any sort of experience in that field whatsoever, and I was super grateful for that time. But I'm also very grateful to have that in the rear view now as I'm approaching a new thing. Because I had a moment last week. I don't know if I told you this or not. You can stop me if I did, but like this person was just like I was dealing with a complaint from somebody about a doctor, and she's telling me some like real like real awful shit on the phone. The sort of thing that you'd expect to see like ripped straight from like the first 10 minutes of a Law and Order episode.
Shit.
She's just telling me happened to her as the preamble to explain why she's lodging a complaint against the doctor. And the whole time she's telling me the story, and it's like well and truly traumatic. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm just like, I need you to wrap this up. Can you just cut to the fucking chase? Is there a Reader's Digest version of this? I don't need all this fucking details. Why are you telling me this? And I'm just like, oh, it's time for me to go.
Not trying to be mean, but I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, just oh, I just had zero empathy, and I was just annoyed. And I'm like, it's time to go. So I start on Wednesday. I am enjoying some time off. I had a nice weekend with my partner. We we went out for dinner. We thought we were just getting Thai food. We ended up walking in, finding out that this place was very fancy.
Did you wear your best Converge shirt?
What shirt did I wear? Because I was wearing a band shirt.
I hope it was the couch slut shirt. I really do.
I don't own that one. That would have been great. May have been my Protect Trans Kids shirt, so nothing too crazy. But still not like formal attire either. Not that it was like a formal place, but it was just like fancy.
Well, you charged
Like
me
they
soda
wanted to
here.
know, yeah, one of those places. I asked for sparkling water and they gave me a bottle of San Pellegrino. I was like, oh, God. But yeah, I am grateful to just have time off. So I've just been kind of hanging out, playing some video games, finally getting around to doing laundry. I uh, I took myself to the movies the other night, saw a new Supergirl movie.
How was
It
that?
was good. It was good. I liked it. I liked it. Like it didn't break any sort of new ground or anything. It borrowed heavily from like Fury Road and a few other movies, but like it was well done. It was enjoyable. I
Was
thought
it
that the
funny?
people it was funny. I thought the people who acted in it did good at acting.
Well, well,
Jason
I asked
Momoa as Lobo is excellent.
I'll have to see that to believe it. I asked if it was funny because DC tends to have this, "We're so dark," and it comes off real shitty, and I was like, "Please don't do this to Supergirl. Please make it fun."
Man, now that they've since Superman came out, like they're again rebooting their DC universe thing. It started with like the Batman with fucking what's his nuts?
Justin Pearson
Robert
of the
Pattinson.
Locusts. Whatever. Same person.
Same person. Did you see Superman last year?
Uh, I am punk rock. No, I have not seen the movie. I just saw the one quote that got memed. I have not seen it.
Yo, do yourself a favor and watch that movie. The
Okay.
best Superman movie since the Christopher Reeve ones.
Okay. Now you have more of my attention because the other ones after the Christopher Reeves movies, ugh, not
So
not great.
Superman was my favorite superhero growing up.
Really.
It's an it's an odd one for me, but it just was. I don't know why. I think my favorite iteration of Superman has to be the WB cartoon back in the day.
That is pretty soon.
That's that's a really good, like very good version of it. I remember watching that the day it came out. I remember watching the pilot. My dad let me stay up to watch it. But I love the Christopher Reeves movies and then was like disappointed in every single movie that came out until this one, last summer.
How did you feel about Batman versus Superman?
Never saw it. Didn't bother.
Okay. We'll talk about that one later offline. I got I have thoughts.
I Zack Snyder's sensibilities, like dark, gritty sensibility, like bleak, cynical, dark, gritty sensibility has worked once and one time only, and that was in The Watchmen. And that's because the Watchmen comic lined up with his sensibility. But like that man is incapable of
Didn't you do
like
300?
making he did, yeah.
Okay, so two movies lined up with his sensibility.
Yeah. I was talking more just like specifically superhero movies.
Okay, I got you.
But like that is not the sensibility you need for goddamn Superman or Batman versus Superman. Like, especially not the DC versions of those. Like Jesus. Or like the not the DC. The what am I trying to say here?
DC
The D Yeah. Like it's just no. You don't we don't no.
will ride for DC animation any day of the week. Like I feel that they have
DC
nailed that.
animation is superior
I will never shit
with
on
like
it.
maybe the exception of the X-Men. But
I still haven't watched. I don't think I've even watched X-Men '97 yet. I know it's on my queue. I still haven't touched it.
it's good. I haven't really gotten into it, but like you know the original like Batman, Superman, the Batman Beyond was really good. It
Batman was sick.
was so good. What they're currently doing with like Harley Quinn, like aimed at adults, is really good too.
Yeah, they're on what season 5 of that.
Something like that. I'm behind on it, but yeah, no, the Superman movie last summer was so good.
All right. If it's on, if it's the best one since Christopher Reeves run as Superman, then I will definitely, I will make an effort to watch as if I see it pop up, I say going, maybe like you know what, fuck it, go ahead and watch it. You're not the only person to say that it's like a good return to form for the character. My friends that are super heavy into comics, like I mean, like that's all they do as far as as hobbies, all things comic related. They've said it's very similar things. Like, I wish they did a little more of this, was a little more action, but overall, best one in a long, long time since I was a little kid, and we're all the same age. So I'm like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. One of the inspirations behind like one of the comics that James Gunn pulled from to make it was All-Star Superman.
Ooh, good run.
Yeah, like which is that is the definitive Superman comic. If you've never read it, go get yourself a copy of All-Star Superman. Read All-Star Superman.
All-Star Batman and Robin. Feel how you want to feel about it. Some good, some bad, some in between.
Yeah, but Grant Morrison doing All-Star Superman, just some of the best stuff Grant Morrison ever did. Besides, like, Doom Patrol.
Underrated show. Underrated DC
Under-
show.
Underrated DC show. Underrated DC comic.
All right.
So,
I'll agree with that. I thought Doom Patrol like stood out for if you read Sandman but wanted to read something quirky, you'd go to Doom Patrol because you're already kind of in that
yeah.
lane. But
Yeah.
all right, that makes sense. Like that's I won't. Yeah, I enjoyed the live action show, and I've read the comic when they relaunched it.
Brendan
By the way,
Fraser was such a good pull for that show.
yeah, fucking.
And it was so cool to see him back and back doing that.
Did you watch the Sandman on Netflix by chance?
I've only seen season 1. I have yet to see season 2. But I really like season 1.
All right, so I'm not. It's hard to spoil a story that's been around since the '80s, but if you enjoyed season one, you might have some gripes with season two. But I think overall, I have finished it. I have not rewatched it in forever. I did watch it. I think Sandman is one of the best DC properties that's been live action, and I think it's the best serialized live action since they'd had the Constantine show. So,
That Constantine show was pretty dope.
that's
Way
the
better than the
DC I
movie.
love. That Keanu Reeves movie is a masterpiece in its own right. Just call it something different. Call it Jonah Hex because that can replace the shitty Jonah Hex movie in my eyes.
Yeah. No, I like that movie, but it was just like once I saw the show, I was like, this is what that character is supposed to be. This is
Yeah,
better.
yeah, it was real good. It was real good. All right, we've definitely nerded out on some shit today. No, this is cool. This is hell yeah. All right.
Yeah, but the Supergirl movie was good. Wasn't as good as the Superman movie, which was unfortunate. I was hoping it was going to be better than it ended up being, but it was still good. You know, what I'm really excited for is like some little girl is going to go see that movie and they're going to fall in love with it. It's going to be magic for them. And
It's gonna
that's really cool.
They'll probably end up doing something creative and like writing and maybe they make their own comic or go and get into drawing or something. So yeah, shit like that is cool.
Yeah. So I'm and then tomorrow I'm going to go see Jackass.
Let me know how that is. A Bamless Jackass is a lot for me to see, but that would explain all the Jackass content on my YouTube algorithm with that movie
Yeah.
coming.
I From my understanding, they it's not that they didn't it wasn't Bam not being in it wasn't for lack of trying, but I think unfortunately he burnt a lot of bridges and burnt out a lot of people's goodwill towards him. And I think at some point that couldn't get overlooked. You know what I mean?
But and the other pop culture conversation about Bam Margera, this episode's going places. It's pretty sick. He has been skating again. He's done a couple of shows with the Dern brothers. I really enjoy watching their show, and apparently he's riding again. His skating is better than it has been in a long time. He's still not his prime, but he's sponsored again. So Bam is back, and he seems to be doing well from everything I've seen. So still weird not seeing him do Jackass, but I'm glad that
I
he's
know he's
on the
in the
mend.
movie in some like archival footage and
Oh,
stuff,
okay, well maybe he is. Okay.
but he's not like present day Bam is not in the movie. But I hope that dude I want nothing but good things for that guy, you know. Yeah, I don't wish ill towards him at all. Did you see that his parents went to the premiere?
No, no, I did not.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I thought that was cool.
I would not be surprised if they end up doing a long form podcast with all of them and a bunch of crying and a bunch of relationships getting fixed in like less than 5 years. I suspect that'll happen.
I sure hope so.
Like a documentary retrospective where they talk about all the highs and lows with everybody. And the CKY guys. I would actually watch that. I think that'd be pretty good. That'd be a pretty good thing to see.
I think so. Viva La Bam and Jackass were big parts of my childhood, like my adolescence. So it's hard to explain to anyone now. Like, because like also on its face, like none of that stuff is really matches up with any of my my current sensibilities, really. But like, it was still like a huge part of me growing up was all of that. So at any rate,
Jackass. Still going strong. Weirdly, but good.
speaking of Jackass, what was your mail this week?
Speaking of going into the past, that's all right. So I have the last couple of days I've come into some cool stuff. The first thing is very much in the past. Band called As Hope Dies. They put out their birthplace and burial site release with Tarnished Records, who have officially called it a day with I think it was the Nehemiah record they put out recently. And so the 13th release. So this was like release number I don't know. I could actually look at the thing. This is the ninth release. So this was the cover. They were like a faster, not quite grindy, but not quite not grindy metalcore adjacent band. And I got this. I got this record. Here's what it looks like.
That's sick.
I believe Got a Groove, who does a lot of work with like they have their own label called Wax Mage, where it's like super exclusive. The waiting list I'm sure is insane. Wax Vessel was like the label for us, at least in this world, especially this first 15, 20 releases, stuff that we would recognize from the MySpace era. He did stuff with Got a Groove, and like they created like a super cool way for records to be made. They did a new thing with like ink. And speaking of Wax Vessel, we're gonna keep this Gotta Groove thing going. Now, when I say that there are good modern deathcore bands, I catch shit from people, and I will never not catch shit for it. Psycho Frame is like probably the deathcore band now,
Okay.
and members went on to form their hardcore band or metalcore hardcore band called Warspawn. So they've only put out like an EP. It's
Okay.
heavy, it's mean. If you like End, if you like Frontierer, if you like Section, this is gonna be a band you're gonna want to check out. If you like Psycho Frame, you're gonna want to check them out. But that's what if you wanted like some other contemporaries, that's what I would say would be the band. It's the bands to check out. And this is what their record looks like.
Oh, that's sick.
And last but not least, one of the bands that like I think for a lot of people is their definitive deathcore band. It's one of the few that I actually do like from back in the day. And I missed the drop on this that Wax Vessel had. I was also broke, but I mean I missed it outright. I wouldn't be able to afford it at the time. But I got Suicide Silence demo. So this is, I don't think it's second demo where they had the Family Guy quote on it. I think this is the first demo. I have to look
Family
at
Guy
both of them.
quote.
Yeah. Tom Hanks,
Like as a
everything.
sample?
Yeah. Like it starts out with
Okay.
destruction of a statue. He goes, Tom Hanks, everything that guy is funny. Everything he says is Stitch. And he goes, I have AIDS. They're watching Philadelphia. And then they kick into the song because it was, that's the way what edginess was. But it's a super
Yeah, that
vibrant.
is
But I got this. This is one of the things that, like, if you were in that deathcore world, like, this was a band that, like, them, Job for a Cowboy, As Blood Runs Black, Rose Funeral, maybe like Destroyer, Destroyer, Doctor Acula, Black Rose Burial.
Dr. Acula.
Yeah, I know. Sawtooth Grin, a lot of those bands, like, this was definitely contemporaries, and I got this is what the one side of the EP looks like.
Remember that band I Wrestled a Bear once?
Yes, I do. Spirit Box. It wasn't good then, not good now. Spirit Box also not good. They can be mad at me. I don't care for it. I'm not going to wax philosophically on deathcore any longer, but this was like a big undertaking for Wax Vessel to get this and to make it happen. And it was a super pricey record at retail. I think it was like over $200, and I have acquired it finally. I have It's one that I've wanted that I missed out on. Same with the War Spawn. I have 2 records left that I got this past Friday. Violence Truck, aka Truck Violence, put out their first record on the Flenser, which is The Weather Vane Is My Body. Did not think I was going to enjoy this band as much as I did, but you got me into the band Intercourse and Couch Slut, and they got Chat Pile and a bunch of other in that genre kind of bands on that label. This is probably gonna be the next Chat Pile, for I don't have a better way of putting it. This is also released 197 from the Flenser, so 3 more we're gonna have 200. I'm curious as to what that milestone record's gonna be, but this is the club version. I think they still may have the club option available, but nice little tri-stripe of simple colorway, nice simple
That's
colorways.
cool.
As far as noise rock goes, as far as like hitting a lot of different genres, they definitely have more going on than just noise rock. It's a very interesting record. I've listened to it twice while driving around at work. It's very cool. I will have to listen to it a handful more times, but if you're already into Chat Pile, if you're already into like Couch Slut, if you're already into Intercourse, if you're already into like Dead Guy, if you're into like Judas Factor, if you're into any of that stuff, this is a band you're going to put your eyes on really quickly. So I'd do that. And now my last thing that I got. Now, everyone knows that I went through a ska phase that has never ended. Did you know that in 2026, we're going to get a bunch of 30-year anniversary pressings? Did you know?
I did not.
Well, there's a band that got big because ska exploded, and they put out a record called Destruction by Definition, Suicide Machines, 30-year anniversary pressing of this record. It's been remastered. I have not played it yet. I'm going to. I love the fuck out of this record when I was a kid. So I saw they put up a pre-order, and they did something for the variant that you could only really get from, like, we talk about Wax Mage and Tarnished and Wax Vessel, and I've only seen them do. And when they put this up, I thought they were bullshitting, so I went ahead and bought it just to see what would happen. And it's a label burst. So that is parts of a label pressed into the vinyl. Like
That's cool.
so that's what mine happened to look like. Definitely one of the prettiest records I've gotten in a while. I don't know what pressing plant did it, but I'm looking forward to tearing into this because there are some songs that I still sing the choruses of to this day. And now that I have this, I'm really stoked. I love ska. I'm always going to love ska. So seeing anniversary pressings of records that I loved, like maybe
God
we'll get
defines who I am as a person.
I will I will never turn my back on ska. The wife did that to me earlier, and I had to finish it. And no joke, I love the fuck out of ska. It's fun. I'm hoping if we get like Mephistopheles 30th anniversary edition of God Bless Satan, but maybe some extra tracks. I have some copies already. Most of that Moon Ska catalog really was something I was into. Against All Authority, Link 80. I love all that shit. I love all.
I'm a casual ska enjoyer. One of the things I was listening to this last week is the first half of the new Streetlight record.
Ooh,
So Streetlight, the dude behind Streetlight has been saying that a new record is coming for like a while now, and keeps getting pushed back, but he finally put up like the first half is available to listen to on streaming. Second half coming soon.
that's so sick. I'm going to listen to that when we get off the show tonight. I'm going to listen to that tonight/tomorrow because I
It's
want to
good.
hear I want to hear what they sound like now. I'm sure it's going to be fun. I'm sure
It
it's going
sounds
to
like
sound.
Streetlight, dude. Like if you're looking for some sort of big innovation or big, if you're looking for them to sound like anything other than a Streetlight record, you will be disappointed. If you want more Streetlight,
I do.
you'll be stoked.
Well, I'm pretty stoked already. My horn went from 6 to midnight. All right, that was bad. They can't all be winners. I
Nah,
should go. I should go from F flat to C sharp. I think that would have been a better reference. Anyways, all right. Did you get anything cool, physical or like from wandering into a store or mail this week or this
I
last
did
week?
not. Nothing to show really. My partner was very kind to get me some new clothes for work. I'm very excited. They got me a pair of high end selvage, like it's called duck canvas pants for work. So they are currently, because the pants came with a free hem, so I'm waiting to pick them up. But considering we're having a heat wave this week, probably not the week to wear them.
No. Best in all reality, best week to wear them. Break them in quick. Apparently, selvage denim and selvage duck cotton. You want them to break in as quick as possible. That might be might not be a bad idea.
There. So I'm it's a good point. I'm just waiting to I'm waiting for to get the email that they're ready to be picked up.
Tell your partner I'm very stoked that they got you that because that's a sick ass gift.
Yeah, it was very kind of them. It felt nice to have like a nice thing. I did pick up a book, though I currently have no idea where it is because I was just cleaning up, but there's a used bookstore by my house. I did pick up a book that looked interesting. It's a Diary of a Black Queer Nurse. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a black queer nurse talking about their experiences of being a nurse during COVID. So looking forward to some catharsis, I guess.
Oh yeah, I really should read more. You and our homie Josh make me feel like Adam. You should try reading again just to make sure you still have the skill,
Hey, Adam, you should try,
bruh.
just in general.
Bruh. Speaking of LGBTQ literature, we are coming to the end of Pride Month. Uh, we had Juneteenth. We had Father's Day. We had West Virginia Day. We've had a lot of things for people to celebrate. If you and yours celebrate any of those, I hope you had an awesome June. And I didn't have to leave anybody from Facebook this year, which was actually kind of nice. I didn't have to cut anybody out of my life for hateful
Well,
comments.
that's a nice change of pace.
Yeah. So if you are part of any of those aforementioned communities, I hope it was wonderful for you. Shout out, and hopefully the world will be a better place a year from now, and we can still have those things for everyone because those things still
Man, I hope
matter.
so. Yeah, absolutely. The being queer right now is scary, and we need pride more than ever. So, anyhow, homework.
Homework.
I was desperately like, how do I transition? I'm like, no, I do not. I
No, no, let it hang because like sometimes like having that serious. I, the one thing I love about this podcast that you are you are the progenitor for making this happen. I get when people ask about it, I do give a lot of credit to you because you're the
thank
one that
you.
came up with you're the one who came up with the fucking idea. This it was just like let's talk about Zayo discography and here we are several
Yeah,
years later. But this is a very big part of it is you. And when people ask me, I tell them that you're a big reason. And one of the things that we like wanted to do is like, despite the sometimes very bad jokes that come out of my mouth, well, there are certain things that we do care about. And like, I like to think that we approach any of those subjects, be it hardcore controversies, be it real life problems, personal things we're dealing with. I think that we approach them in a way that is very honest. It's not beholden to anybody except ourselves. And we have this level of trust to where like what the other one's gonna do, I'm not gonna be mad at because I know that their motivation for this is good. Whatever they're gonna say, whether it's you, me, or someone we have on the show, it's always this good thing. It's always good. Even when we criticize, at the end of the day, like it's good and it's honest. And I think that's something that needs to be recognized. So I'm very thankful for you for making me do this show. And I don't mean like do it
Thank
in
you.
like, ugh. I mean like this is a great creative outlet for me. And I really appreciate like us doing this. And like you deserve a lot of credit for that. And I
Thank
just
you.
want
That's
people
very
to know that.
kind.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I likewise very grateful for this and the ability to just like talk music and shoot the shit and whatever else, even if this is all it ever becomes, it's great. It's a good time, you know?
It is.
We're 6 months into this thing.
Holy shit.
I'm happy to I'm happy to keep doing this until the sun explodes.
I can't believe it's
You
six
know?
months yet. I can't believe it's 6 months. That's awesome.
Yeah. I think not quite. We started in like February, so we're getting there. But like
Well, well, no, because we did the Instagram thing. Because I would do my music journalism, and that became the
right.
progenitor. So it's been over 6 months. I was doing that shit back in like October, September of last year. So I'll say we've hit 6 months doing this show in one iteration or another.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. Number 12 in Sweden, baby.
Number 12 in Sweden. First episode dropped February 16th.
Hell yeah.
Hirsch's feeble public access cable show and exploit it. If you haven't figured it out by now, every single episode title, unless if I can't think of anything else, is just a quote from Wayne's World. Why I'm constantly quoting Wayne's World on a show like this where we just talk about music and shoot the shit should be obvious. Anyways, you assigned me 3 records this week from 3 different bands.
I did.
I enjoyed all of them for different reasons. So the Judas Factor felt like kind of if you gave 108 like an energy drink.
Members of 108 are in the band.
I know.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. I know you do your homework, but I for the audience, they may not know. There's the excuse.
Fair
The
enough.
audience
Fair
may
enough.
not
You're
know.
right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I enjoyed it a lot. I like it sounds a little chaotic. It sounds kind of unhinged. You know, 108 tends to stay in like a mid-tempo. This is faster. This is going a bit more crazy, which I really liked. Did this band do much?
I think this was Rob Fish's semi-serious kind of. We're gonna play out, but we're not gonna play out that much in between 108 band.
Okay.
When they had a demo, and then they got signed to Revelation, which that was a point in time when that Rev star was super important. If you got that star, you were validated. And being that like 108 had been on a bunch of different labels, they ended up going on Death Wish. But I remember that
Was 108 on
LP.
EVR?
Yes, yes. I almost said like Caroline, but I know that's Warzone. But they put out a demo. They put out Ballads in Blue China, which was the LP, and then they had put out Kiss Suicide, which was the EP. Which like that was it. They put out 2 records, but they were both on Rev. And again, for a certain era of people, that star meant everything. It had it carried a lot of weight, and I feel like Revelation as a label since, I don't know, 97, 98 has not gotten the same attention, even though it's put out a bunch of quality records. And this is one that I always reference because it gets lost in the shuffle. And I think more people should listen to this band. If you're listening to 108, especially if you like 1861, the to me the best 108 record because I love the weirdness, you're going to love this record. So if 1861 is your favorite 108 record, this is going to be one you're going to want to acquire some.
My f- Sorry, you just reminded me that one of my favorite things to do is to walk up to someone in a 108 shirt and be like, "Oh man, I love 108," and watch their forehead twitch.
Are you saying you're throwing off their mantra? Okay, I'll quit.
Every moment without you, I die, Krishna. And then, so after that, we get Far Side, the Monroe Doctrine.
Yes.
This to me sounds like someone gave like Lagwagon a quicksand record. It's like the vocals are like very reminiscent of that sort of like California's like Epitaph Records style punk, but the riffs go heavier and groovier.
Okay.
I like this quite a bit. I'll be going back to it. Does that track at all? Do you understand what, like, do you see where how I got there?
I do. Like,
Okay.
cause like, so they've been around for a while. They were early 90s band, late 80s, early 90s band. And I think every major LP was on Rev. This was the last one. And this, for me, because again, that Rev star, but being older now, that first song on that record is so powerful. It talks about growing up and getting older and then like having to kind of come to grips with it. There's a couple other tracks on there that are like, some are like kind of like relationship based, some positive, some negative, some wild ass tracks on there that make no sense, like the grindcore song on there. But this was a
Yeah,
record,
there was some stuff on there I was like, I don't need this.
but that was like the first time I heard that record. I was on the Rev Secret Service and I got it, like their street team, and I don't think it left my CD player for a really long time. That is probably one of my top three, if not my number one Rev record.
Wow.
Like that's how up there that is. My three favorite Rev records are that Judas Factor LP, that Farside LP, and Battery Whatever It Takes. So I'm a different kind of Rev kid.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then finally, you had me listen to Endeavor Constructive Semantics. And this, to my ear, sounded like a midpoint between HopeCon and Dead Guy.
Oh, okay. What part sounded like what for you?
The the vocals reminded me a lot of HopeCon. And some of the riffing like reminded me sort of going in that direction. But then like it would ultimately be a bit more sort of like that Dead Guy sort of chaos that HopeCon leans more like rockin' and riffy, but this did not.
Okay.
There's that early 90s like metallic hardcore filth
Yeah.
in this. Like Rorschach,
Nice pull. Nice pull for that.
like trying to think of like other bands of that ilk, like that real dirty. Yeah, but
I'm trying to
all in
think of some
all, nothing in there that I disliked. Maybe a scotch of Man is the Bastard.
just a scotch. Just a scotch. Turn it down a scotch.
So overall, I got a kick out of all of it. This is
Hell yeah.
this is a fun way to do the homework thing rather than just like, to take a break from, what the main focus of it, which is like, here's a band that's in a blind spot for you, like listen to their discography and get back to me. Like, here are three different records. So in that vein, here are three acts. They don't have a lot of releases.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I think two of them only have like one release each. So Scorpion Milk has a record called Slime of the Times.
All right. Sounds like Pizza Thrash. It probably is not, but that gives me Pizza Thrash vibes.
Sure. And then there's a band called Miracle Blood. They put out a record 2 years ago called Hello Hell.
Great band name. Great record name.
And then there's a band out of Berlin. I think it might just be, I don't even know if it's a band. It might just be one person. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize this. So they're called Wet Dream War Machine, which is apparently a Locust song, which I did not realize. They got a full length and an EP, Songs of Joy and Resistance, and a self-titled EP.
So musically, before I delve into this this week, how because the stuff I threw at you was like kind of very specific of an era for me. Like the Endeavor
Mhm.
record was the first like overtly political record that connected with me, other than like Dead
Yeah,
Kennedys or something like that. So,
I think the over politicalness, to go back, is also what made me think of HopeCon. Maybe
but
more
like,
Suicide File for that, but like, since both could go pretty overtly political, but like, anyway, sorry.
are there are like so the theme that I was working with in my head were three underrated records across my earlier times in hardcore. Like all this was late '90s, early aughts when I either discovered it or bought it. I think
Mhm.
all late '90s for all of it. Is there any potential overall arcing theme for my homework that I may or may not pick up on? Yes or no? I don't need to know what it is, but is
So
there?
this is all stuff that I would say is like weirdo hardcore and adjacent. So, uh, yeah. And this is all stuff that I found. I had a project for a long time with a friend of mine where we would find like 4 songs a week to send each other. It was a super fun project. We had like, it stretched into its like third or fourth volume, like playlists on Spotify that we would send. But these are all bands that I found in that as I was like looking out like new, weird, and interesting things to send him. So none of these are going to be, none of these are particularly straight down the middle anything. It's all weird.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So the notion was like, what is new and kind of fucking weird.
No, like that's it. Again, like you have probably put me more in line with noise, noise rock, noise adjacent, like adjacent noise rock. Like I said, that they introduced me to Brutal Panda and then like Couch Slut being a big one. But that Intercourse record, I can't stop. Honest to God, where did I put it? Here it is. For those that don't know, this particular Intercourse record, How I Fell in Love with the Void, is a stellar fucking record. It's probably one of the best things, like, when you told me to check out the label and I think early on, and then I decided to go ahead and buy this. And I've come back to it multiple times. And this is out of all the stuff that you have sent me, other than the Mata, that is probably the thing I've come back to the most. And like it is a fucking murderous record. And I know that they're local to where you used to live in Connecticut. Yo, this thing is fucking great. Like I'm telling you, the listener, check out Intercourse. This is dense and it's fun.
Yeah. If you like Dead Guy, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't like that. If you like Kissing Goodbye, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't like that.
If you like Chat Pile or Truck Violence.
Yeah. Any anytime you listen to a vocalist and it sounds like they're really working through something through their vocal performance, and you wrap up listening to it and you walk away going, I hope he's okay. Yeah, if you're fans of that experience, which I happen to be, yeah, highly recommend.
Yeah, can't stop singing this band's praises, like, every year or every couple of years, I will find a band that I will just obsess over, that I've never heard before. Before the band beforehand was Agriculture, who I finally got to see, the very beginning of this year with a local, black metal band called Knoll. I forget the opening band's name, and they were fucking great too, at Eulogy in Asheville, and I've not come into, like, something that I wasn't previously into, like a band that I had some working knowledge of. Crippling Alcoholism was one of them, and then Intercourse being the other one. So, like, 2 very different sounds, but those are 2 bands that I delved very deep into with what limited discographies there are. But again, those 3 bands have been, like, a big thing as I transition out of just straightforward hardcore. Like, you gotta listen to new shit. So, you know,
Yeah, gotta listen to new shit. There's stuff that's happening now. It's cool now. Which kind of leads us into the discussion we wanted to get into tonight, which is, you know, so we said it already, but like we're thinking about bands that we used to listen that we liked while they were happening back in the day, and we wanted to ask ourselves what band is embodying that sound and that vibe right now. So either Dead Guy or Kissing Goodbye, I think we would both make a pretty strong case that Intercourse would be the band that is embodying that.
yeah, most assuredly. Like, and Dead Guy is embodying Dead Guy, even though because they had a new record come out last. Again, still blows my mind that that happened. But like, I have not. There's not been that aggressive weirdness. There's been bands that like Chat Pile was coming real close. Colonial Wound was coming real close. Even to some degree, Porcupine was getting there on their last couple records, as far as like the aggressive side of Dead Guy. But that Intercourse record, like, is like you couldn't tell me they swapped out singers. You couldn't say Tim Singer uh, went to do a fifth project and they had their friend hop in like, "Hey, we wrote these songs. Tim can't do them. Do you want to do them?" And that's exactly how I feel about. He's real busy doing graphic art stuff. You want to come do some songs? By the way, Tim Singer, the reason why graphic design got big in hardcore, he is the progenitor. Dead Guy's Fixation on a Coworker, especially that CD booklet, that is the big start for graphic artists in one of the big starts of graphic artists. So thank Tim Singer if you have a career
I
in the
don't think I had
graphic
ever
arts.
really put that together before you mentioning it just now. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is, just one of those things that, like, if I had a chance to interview the man, I'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, your bands are great, love that. Tell me about graphic design. I want to know how the fuck you did what you did back in the '90s, and how you've continued to still innovate with pop art in the vein of Andy Warhol and, like, contemporaries to now, how you it's still fresh." That's the kind of shit I'd wanna ask.
I mean, let's see if we can get him. Why not? What can he possibly say besides no?
Alright, new goal for the end of the year, try to get Tim Singer on. There's a whole bunch of people we want on the show. So you started with Dead Guy. What about, and I'll go to Philly for this one. What about Ink and Dagger?
Ooh,
Staying in the weirder side. When it comes to Ink, I feel like
on
I have 2
some level, it
answers.
feels like So my knee-jerk response is like, has there been anyone? But I'm curious to see what you have to say about it.
So there's not a lot of super antagonistic bands out there right now. Bands that have definitely pushed a sound, but I'm assuming that one band is still around. The first band I'm going to say, not sonically, but artistically, Candy is my first answer.
Okay, interesting. Say more.
So what they're lacking in the musical side of things, I think lyrical content, you can't go album for album, but you can definitely say those last 2 Candy records, including Flipping, have more in common with, like, Fine Art and Drive This 7-inch Wooden Stake than the self-titled record.
Okay.
The experimentation that both bands were doing in sound, Candy going for, like, the glitchier stuff, like, that Code Orange kinda did, but the the way Ink and Dagger makes you feel when you listen to it is the same way I feel when I look at the art on the Candy records.
Hmm. Yeah, that is some provocative sort of like it is. I don't know what else to say. Other like, what's another way of saying provocative? Like it's like, yeah, that's just that's you take a look at what was the EP before the full length? You're like, is that what's happening on there? So it is. That is what's happening on there. Huh.
Oh, that's
Is
not
he going down on yeah, he sure is.
some people like to
In a
fuck on a pile of trash, good for them. Try new things.
try new things.
The other band
Live you Mhm.
that I that I had and here's where there's gonna be some pushback, on this one. I really thought about this while we were coming up with what we were gonna do, and the one band that I think, like, was so unique in the genre that's current and really caught people by surprise, Knocked Loose, A Different Shade of Blue and Beyond, specifically. In spirit, not sonically, but in spirit. It's there. I don't think we're going to have a way to do a one for one musically, but in spirit. I feel like the shit that Knocked Loose has gotten as a band from their peers, the scene, whatever you want to call it, is very similar to where the people that had issues with Ink and Dagger. I feel like there's a correlation there, that there's a
I
kindred
guess I don't
spirit.
know enough about Knocked Loose to really speak on this. That's interesting. Because I wouldn't have picked at them. Like, what kind of pushback have they gotten for Different Shade of Blue that would put them in a category in your mind with Ink and Dagger?
So Knocked Loose, again, I am chopped unk explaining this. Ink and Dagger, for those, like, I was around when they were around, and they were a band that just missed me till years later. Same thing for Knocked Loose, a band that missed me until years later, but I got into them differently. But if you look at, like, the kind of pushback that Ink and Dagger got from the hardcore scene, like the weird rejection, even though they would play with hardcore bands, they were dressing up as in corpse paint and corpse paint adjacent. It's writing songs about vampires. Knocked Loose wrote a song about arfing. Like, like the meme of the band transcended the actual music, and as they changed sounds, because even Ink and Dagger changed sound from Fine Art to self-titled. But as the band changed sounds, like, they got Knocked Loose got the same kind of pushback that Ink and Dagger got, in my eyes, especially after they changed up, what they were doing musically. And if you spent any amount of time in metal and core collectors other than trying to buy or sell stuff, the discourse was very well thought out, of course. Totally rational people discussing music.
I'm sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There was so much regarding the hatred of a band that was really pushing a sound that was not popular at the time, and they were catching strays from other bands, the fan base or the adjacent fan base, and I really thought that was like, they have more in kinship in that regard, not clearly not sonically, but after A Different Shade of
Mhm.
Blue came out, that's where that real big pushback came, and that's very similar to what happened with Ink and Dagger as a band, pretty much from jump. But I'd say at least after Drive the 7-inch wouldn't stay through my Philadelphian heart. I would say after that came out, I would say that their pushback was very similar, but on a different scale. So that's actually how I came to that.
It's interesting. I guess like so my own perspective on Knocked Loose was one of like I saw them as a band that fairly or not, and I think ultimately unfairly, got lumped in by a lot of people into that Uncanny Valley hardcore
Interesting.
world. Because like the people I knew who were into Knocked Loose were also the people I knew who were like who would list like Stick to Your Guns or whatever else is like their big bands. And I just sort of wrote them off. The first time I ever remember encountering Knocked Loose at all was in like the fake internet beef between them and Code Orange fans. If you remember that, like from like a decade plus ago.
More metal and core collectors shit. Yep, I remember all that.
And I was like, who like I was a fan of Code Orange Kids. You know, I liked, I liked Code Orange. And I was like, who the fuck is Knocked Loose? Uh, and then what kind of changed my mind on them was when they went on Axe to Grind. And it was like, oh, these are like dedicated hardcore kids. Their point of reference for hardcore was like actually hardcore. They weren't like, you know, from that like Uncanny Valley world. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So yeah, I see what you're saying though. Like, I don't think I can co-sign it,
That's
but I
okay.
understand fully where you're coming from on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Again, sonically, the comparisons I have do not make sense, but Candy's a little closer, but artistic expression, weird pushback, kindred spirits. I went with that as opposed to like a musical one to one because no, those three bands do not have a musical one to one in any capacity. So, but the other stuff is what I took a step back and looked at it a little differently while we were coming up with this. So, that might actually that might actually work. So if someone gets mad, get mad. It's okay. Look, we're having fun. We're having fun.
It's just a way to talk about bands we like.
Yeah.
We're not handing down the law on any of this shit.
Yeah. All right. You go.
I'm wondering if there's any bands that really am like who is the new Touche Amore? Is there one?
Oh,
Like
good fucking question.
that sound might just currently be in a lull, right? Like
It. Who?
cuz I remember back in the day like that sound was kind of poppin'. There was a lot of bands doing the Touche thing. And they were all kind of contemporaries to each other, but like I don't know if that's even happening at the moment. It might be.
Let us know in the comments below. Click like and subscribe.
There is a
Touche. Ooh, I'm struggling to come up with anything. Could be
there's a band and I see one of the members like at the grocery store occasionally. So I'm trying to think of their name because I don't want to look like a poseur, but it's a Philly band.
turmoil. No. I
Turmoil. Give me one
turmoil for
moment
all right.
because
I'm trying to think of like that like what was called the wave. You told me what it was actually called. Because you had the pro core, you had story core, and then you had the wave. And goddamn, I don't think I'm trying to think of like anything I bought in the last.
Tsunagi.
I thought they were. a Bay band. If you're not from the Bay, you're a bitch.
That's Tsunami. Tsunagi, they are like a screamo band from here in Philly. They're really, really good.
Bone Flower?
Bone Flower might be one.
That's all I got. Damn, I forgot. I'm so glad I remembered Bone Flower. Jesus.
Yes. So Tsunagi's put out a record on Jeremy Bolm's record label, A Secret Voice. This came out fucking 2 years ago, so it's been a minute. But
Oh, yes, Mr. Jeremy Bohm.
that still blows my mind.
So it's so funny. It's so good. Yeah, dude.
I
I'm
told you that
coming
like
up.
I knew that he could sing really deep, but like I had no idea this also applied to his speaking voice.
Yo,
Anyway, sorry.
when you sent me that clip, I was like, the fuck did this is you made this up. You're fucking with me. And then I I watched the whole thing like, you were
You
not.
are
Goddamn.
witchcraft.
Oh, that was so good. Yeah, I mean, only thing I really got is Bone Flower. Everything else, like an older band that just might be putting on like Birds in Row, but like they kind of started
Yeah.
around the same time. And so it doesn't really
Yeah,
I
no, they
like
were
people like
contemporaries. They didn't pop off in the same way, but they were contemporaries.
yeah.
And they've kind of gone and done their own thing. But yeah, I don't know. What band you got next, if any?
So if we've kind of stayed in the 90s realm for a lot of my stuff so far, and I'm gonna keep that going. Integrity.
Ooh.
Only Killing Pace was the first thing that came to mind for me. And that's kind of been it. And they're not even close, but that's kind of been it. Maybe Cruelty out of England, but even then, it's
Cruelty
similar
is
rental.
a strong pull. That is interesting. Like Garib maybe, but like no, right?
No, my one of my homies, shout out Andy O'Hara up in Albany. He was like, Scarab is like a combination of Hatebreed and Nails.
Mm.
And I was like, all right, I can ride with that. I think more Hatebreed than Nails because of the riffing in the first two EPs, but I get the Nails more from the new LP. But no, it's
It doesn't actually sound like Nails, but like it it does punish you the way that Nails does.
yes, yes, yeah. I I'm a huge Integ fan.
The
I like
hugest.
I really am. Those that don't know, one of my prized possessions. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show it. I don't think I've shown any of this stuff. But this what I'm about to show you, hopefully, let me know if it shows up good. Several years ago, my wife got me a very cool display case. And the most important, my favorite hardcore record of all time is Integrity's Humanity is the Devil. I was lucky enough to get a test press of the 12-inch repress. And Dwid drew a hand drawn cover for me. And we're going to show
Oh,
that
that's really cool.
on camera. Because here we go. Let me know. Can you see it?
Oh, that's awesome.
So there were 10 of those test presses, but each one was made for the individual. That is my that is my prized record possession of all the records I own. Like, but even the liquid filled Humanity is the Devil that I have. That is my prized record possession. I don't
You
think anything's
know,
gonna take it.
not really in sound at all, but in terms of like they kind of have this little world of artists around them, right? The way that Integrity did, and they are prolific in terms of output. Thou.
I'm processing. The wheel is loading. All right. Yeah, because Dwid and Integrity did a bunch of different stuff. All the members did a bunch of different stuff. When they put out a shitload of records at one time, they put out a shitload of records at one time. Not big on touring until like really recently.
They have a dark sound that's just kind of it's kind of their own. They have this own little world around them. They are prolific.
All right. Sonically, not
Sonically, no.
Everything else, kinda, yeah. Minus like the process church and occult stuff that permeates a lot of the early to mid-range integrity material. I'll definitely add that for everything from To Die For to current. I think that would be a great era with all those splits and everything. I think that era of integrity absolutely falls in line with that as far as like the prolificness. That's when all we started getting all those 7 inches and like Clint from OCR started doing represses, getting those records back out. All right, all right. The spirit and some one-to-one comparisons in artistic output and how they did it, by their own rules. All right. Yeah, I'll ride for
And I
that.
mean, there is some weird occult stuff within Thou too.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's more in the vein of like say like a haunted house somewhere in Louisiana more than it is like whatever the fuck integrity was doing. But like, if you want to lump that in as a cult,
Yeah,
yeah, there's some of that in there.
yeah. I don't read a lot, but the last two big, thick books that I read were Love, Fear, Sex, Death, which is uh, about the process church, which was heavily a lot of the imagery was used heavily in a lot of the integrity releases, and very big part of the religious cult aspect. And then there was the psychic Bible, Genesis P. Orage Forever. They wrote that book and that whole world.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll send you links to the books, but I think a lot of that stuff, you don't know, you might find it interesting. We're talking about books and shit, but
Yeah,
a
please
lot of that stuff
send that my way.
a lot of that stuff was also part of the integrity world. But that process chart, that was such a big part of some of the imagery. Then some of the later Manson related stuff, and then just some of the Japanese hardcore influence. So hell yeah! All right, what you got?
Well, let's go with an obvious one because I'm wearing the hoodie. Is there anyone doing anything like the Chariot these days?
Which era? Are we talking first record? Are we talking like last few?
Like Long Live.
Okay, the best one, or in my case, I flip flop between that and the first one. Long live.
I was
Dramatic?
told the Callous Dow Boys at one point, and I don't think so.
No,
But
I
I
throw
also
them.
have not seen them live. So that if I ever get a chance to see them, that might change. I don't know.
I have seen them live. I don't think they're. I don't think it's the same. I'm not gonna say 68 because that's just an unfair cop out.
Oh, do you think there's some Chariot vibes in the singer's next band?
I mean, thank you kindly. Ooh, the Chariot. I know it's a big one for you.
There's
Who
a
can?
a band that comes to mind is Missouri Executive Order number 44.
What a title. What a band name.
This band I might actually swap out Scorpion Milk and have you listen to instead
Okay.
for your home.
All right. I'm down for whatever. I'm trying to think like modern ish. That they really did kind of stand on their own, especially after the first album. Ooh,
Yeah, they were in a lane kind of by themselves. I mean, like they drew a lot of obvious comparisons like Coalesce and Botch with some of their sound, but like they were still very much in their own lane.
I got two curveballs that might work. One sonically is closer. One writing wise, as far as in their own lane. I'm gonna throw counterparts in as the closest sound wise in comparison to the
Okay.
other band. N as being very much in their own lane. Like no one else is doing N.
It's true. I've never listened to Counterparts. They fall in that uncanny valley world, so never check them out.
I the only reason why I say that the last EP and then like the last 2 LPs. And as a matter of fact, I am gonna draw a one-to-one comparison with Counterpart. I loved their first release, and then
Okay.
forever, I was like, "Alright, they're fine. They're cool." I know, I also love Shai Hulud and Misery Signals. And then they put out, There's Nothing, No Love Left, or whatever the fuck that record is.
Is this
And
the one
that's
where
when
he's
I
dealing with the loss of his cat?
No, that's the one, that's one of the more recent one. I actually have that one. That's why I bought it because of the Song of the Cat for, Kuma Forever, because I'm gonna have to deal with that one of these days soon. I got 6 left. But I would say my opinion is the same. I can draw that comparison where the first LP really got me, and then nothing until Long Live, but I would say No Love, and if Adam, the other Adam was here, he could actually tell me everything about he would rattle it off with German precision, and he he'd be like, "Okay, that I can draw that line," as how, like, the way I feel about the band as I came back around. I felt again, Chariot came back around, Long Live, and, first LP, I flip-flop, but
They
I
were
could do the
still
same.
contemporaries, though. So, like, it's not. I'm
Okay,
because
I guess it's the
Counterpart
best I
started. I
can.
just looked it up. Counterpart started in 7. Like,
Oh, shit. I thought they were a little later than that, to be honest with you.
no, they've been
Alright.
around for a while. Chariot started in 03. So, like, they were doing stuff at the same time. So I'm like, that's why I'm like, is there anybody out there? There very well may be, and I just don't know about them. We just may be too unk. We may be too unk to know.
Chopped as fuck. I would say doing their own thing and, like, not really fitting in, to, like, a
Hmm.
specific thing. I think End, I'm still gonna stick with End. I do not hear anyone else doing End, just like I never heard anyone else doing The Chariot after Everything Is
Yeah,
Alive.
yeah.
But that's the best those are the 2 best comparisons that I can remotely draw from in any capacity.
You know who would have an answer to this question?
Who?
Bailey.
I bet you're right. I bet you're absolutely right. Let me use the Bailey signal real quick.
Can you message her and see if she has an answer for us?
Hey, look, I know you're doing a show right this minute. Can you stop and answer this question for this podcast?
Can you take a call real quick?
No, no, I can talk. uh, some of my favorite parts of Harold and
Looks
Kumar.
out at a paying studio audience. No, I can talk.
Bailey Pope, the real Bailey Pope, great stand-up comic. She's gonna be back doing Furnace Fest, a show that I will hopefully get a chance to see her at least at the fest. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get on the show. I think we're coming right back. I also did not ask, but I would, if you get a chance, man, go support my homie Bailey Pope. Check tour dates, Insta. It's She makes videos I think have been very good where she'll just talk about hardcore stuff while walking and looking straight ahead and never looks in the camera. And there's some very funny things that have come out of that have spurned some very
She
cool discussion.
has she has some of my absolute favorite takes on on hardcore stuff and how how that subculture intersects with current events and stuff like that. Yeah.
I you would be remiss to not give her a shot. It's a comedy special is streaming fucking everywhere. It's $5. Give her money. Just give her money.
Give her money.
Give her money.
She's a trans woman right now. Give her money.
Yeah, a touring comic. Give her money. Just fucking give her money.
In general, if you see a trans person just around, you should give them money.
Yeah, doesn't have to be a lot, or it could be. I don't know. It's up to you. Give them money.
It's up to you, but you should give them money.
Money now, me money. Money now, me money.
Money, please.
Hour. Who is doing Darkest Hour?
Ooh, Japanese band, View from the Soyuz.
That was so fucking quick. That was so quick. I just happened to be looking at my Darkest Hour record, like, right in front of me. I was like, "Who's doing Converge?" No one can do Converge. Whatever band
Converge is
inside
doing Converge, and we should all be grateful for it.
but, yeah, I'd say especially, like, Darkest Hour has eras for people. I think the cool thing is we're talking about bands that have eras for the most part, and Mark of the Judas, So Sedated, Hidden Hands, Undoing Ruin. I find those Darkest Hour records to be the pinnacle of the genre of American melodeath that hardcore kids love, and musicianship, the lyrics, delivery. Even though some songs get a little long in the tooth, I don't think I can't think of anyone currently that can do it better.
View from the Soyuz, man. I think you'll dig them.
All right. So
They're a
fast.
band out of Japan. Days put out a record of theirs, but yeah, they're doing like that like sort of like melodic-y, sort of like Swedish death metal-y, sort of metalcore stuff in a really cool way.
Not a lot of that going on these days. It really
No,
is.
I was so when I first came across this band, I was like, "What is this band from 2006?" And I'm like, "No, this is recent. They're on which label? They're on Days."
Shout out Lumpy for having a good ear for music, for shit that no one would ever find. For real.
Yeah, yeah. I think you dig the hell out of this, man. I'm surprised I haven't sent this your way. Here, let's
Yeah.
add this to your homework.
All right.
It's
4
5
records.
tracks.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind going through 4 records. I think that'd be cool. All right. Yeah, I can rock 4 records in a week. That's not that hard. I don't think anything's coming out this week anyways that I've been looking for.
Mm.
So,
Hey, can we didn't get a chance to do this, but can I talk about the new Fiddlehead for a second?
yeah, go off.
Did you get a chance to listen to it at all?
No, I was enthralled with some of the aforementioned stuff at the beginning part, and we've talked about a couple times, but
Yeah.
um, I have not. I'm not the biggest Fiddlehead fan. I don't dislike the band. I tried to connect with it, and I got nothing.
The single that they put out might change that for you. It's a sonically, it's a the first 2 tracks on the record are like pretty straightforward Fiddlehead tracks. They're really good. I enjoy them a lot. But the single, Baby I Can Change, is like a pretty big step forward. They haven't put out a song like it yet. And it, to me, kind of cements Pat Flynn as one of the best lyricists within hardcore. I've never seen from like Pat Flynn has like famously been straight edge for a very long time. And for him to write a song about like struggling with addiction with that much empathy, I I can't think of anyone who's done it that well. Thematically, the song is about like the obvious one is one of substance abuse, but like could just be seen as like people struggling with like mental health and other things, just trying to get their lives together. You know, if you've ever struggled as a perpetual fuck up, like I have, like that song hit me like where I was straight up just sobbing listening to it because of how deeply it hit that like they said something in one of the press releases of just like it is one thing to see somebody who continues to fuck up. But it's another thing entirely when you're seeing someone try their absolute hardest not to
Girl, same
and
dot get.
and still fucking up.
Yeah. Babe,
And
remind me to put on my Cold as Life jersey when I listen to this sad song so I can still feel tough.
the music video itself is like Pat Flynn riding the subway to an AA meeting.
Oh, there's a video.
Yeah, it's powerful. But yeah, I've yet to I'm hard pressed to think of anyone that's painted that sort of struggle that empathetically. And it definitely I needed to I listened to it a ton and then I was like, I need to step away from this for a little bit because it's putting me back in a headspace that I don't necessarily want to be in. But yeah, highly recommend checking this out. Maybe I'll Change by Fiddlehead, the new EP that just came out on Run for Cover this past week.
The only other Patrick I think has touched on stuff like that would be Kinlan. There's a handful of
Yeah,
songs that like fuck me up that I'm like, should I keep listening to this? So I there's a handful of real powerful songs that came out with each record at different stages of my life that like, hey, are you watching me with a satellite? Is it so? All right, I will watch that when we finish up the when we finish up tonight. I'm glad you brought
yeah,
that up before it got too before it got to before we forgot to talk about it. Fuck, use your words, dum dum.
yeah, yeah. I've had my own experiences with all of that, of like undiagnosed mental health problems or diagnosed but untreated, or attempting to self-medicate, all that sort of stuff. And that struggle is so real, it can feel so absolutely helpless. And I've definitely been in the situation of being very aware that the well of empathy from like a partner or a friend towards me as I'm going through this struggle is running dry, is running real low. I'm gonna start overdrawing, and this song is about that.
Mixed bag. Week's been a mixed bag.
Week's been a mixed bag.
All right. You want to do one more, and then I'll do one more. And we'll call it.
Sure.
All right.
Am I up? Is it your
Yeah,
is
you're
it
up.
your go?
It's your go. You had Fiddlehead because we were supposed to do that earlier.
Right. Well, let's stick in let's let's stick with Pat Flynn. Who's doing Have Heart these days? Does it start
Uh,
today?
Start today. I'm sure. I am. You could argue magnitude.
Ooh, Magnitude's a good pull.
You could argue magnitude. If they were still around, I could say you could argue Eco Strike, but that's more strike. Fuck, who's doing Have Heart in that kind? Because like,
It's sort of like Posy Youth Crew thing, but but also heavy. I think Magnitude might be a
that's the
good,
best. That's the best one I can think of.
not heavy, more hard than heavy, but still heavy thematically, maybe.
Yeah. Come on, so come back to the line. Whoa. Sorry. Yeah. Start today. By the way, if you as an old give a band like Start Today shit
Fuck you.
because they're young, fucking fuck right off. Stop.
You fuck right off a bridge. Like it
Be an
doesn't.
extra.
Not every sound has to be for you to admit that it's good. That the people that are like, there's plenty of bands. Like a couple months ago, I went to go see God, the record showcase from Bob Wilson. You know
Rebirth
what I'm
Records.
talking.
The
There it
Rebirth
is.
Record.
My brain is mush. A lot of those bands that played, like, were not necessarily the sound that I'm looking for, but, like, doesn't change the fact that I thought that they were good at what they were doing. Didn't have to be for me. In fact, it's good that it wasn't for me. Like, I'm in my like, I'm in the second half of my 30s. It would be weird if hardcore right now was appealing to my sensibilities.
Yeah, I think, and you bring up a good point of like, and I think this is something that maybe like we've both been self aware of, and then we've acknowledged definitely off air that like we can say, "Yo, this is really good. I can't listen to it. It's not for me." But I know for a fact that this is well done, and we've been doing
Mhm.
that with a lot of stuff that it keeps popping up, and like I think that mindset is something like, if you're unc and I'm grandpa and we're both hella chop, I believe I will say that one more time and I will never say it again. I think if we start teaching the youngsters like, hey, keep doing what you're doing. It doesn't have to be for me. Keep doing what you're doing. It's very good. Yeah, I think like encourage do you ever get to the point like because you said you're in the second half of your 30s, I'm going to be 50 way sooner than expected. Has your aggressive music taste changed into instead of just being Jun Jun, Jun Jun to like just noisier stuff that has like more of a the rest is jangly noise?
I've definitely experienced some of that. Like, my sensibilities have certainly changed. You know, there was a band that I went to go see with my buddy Andrew, and it's a band that he was, like, super stoked on, and I thought they were good, but it wasn't for me because it was just kinda like it was just sorta like knuckle dragger core, and, my sensibilities lean, you know, a little less knuckle drag.
A little less gray court suit, a little more.
Yeah. Uh, a little a little less action, a little more conversation.
All right. Like I'm mellowing out a lot more. So there is stuff that I know that my wife is glad that I'm not blasting. Like, babe, this is the best deathcore. Listen to the bass drop. Like, I know she's glad. Like, I don't have to see her eyes roll into the back of her head when I just try to get her into stuff.
This
So,
song is in drop D below D, babe. It's
babe, do you
loose
understand?
strings.
Like, if you play it just right, it can stop a human heart.
Right before your heart stops, you'll shit yourself.
It's so cool. Like, if you wear the band shirt, they'll help pay for the funeral. They'll at least send flowers. You'll get in their top 8.
You just remind me of that Kyle Kinane, like, cause of death, wicked air, bro. Metal Militia gonna miss you.
God, I can't wait for his new special. I'm very pumped for his new special. I think some of the new material that he's put up is probably what some you got to see when he came through. So,
Yeah, it is. It's really good.
and I think to end my list of who's doing this now, speaking of men with beautiful beards, let's talk about Alexis on Fire.
Who is doing Alexis on Fire these days?
Yeah, like
You did remind me that I recently re-listened to that song, that Every Time I Die song that he sings on, and that's a really good song.
INR rehab
Yeah.
or in rehab, but yeah, no, that's Dallas's beard should never be held against his singing voice. I just want you guys to understand that the beard and the voice don't match, but goddamn, they're great.
What a good track. Is anyone doing Alexis on Fire? It might just be a scene I'm not familiar with. I'm not, like, aware of happening at the.
Like they were still in the same contemporaries of like Poison the Well, but like the
Mhm.
happier version. Like I remember even Jude the Obscure had a little bit of the same uh, family tree. but, like, trying to find another band that's done Alexis on Fire in any capacity, I'm struggling to think of anyone in my record collection, which is obnoxiously, extensive. I don't think I've heard anyone do that sound, especially to that degree, with playing off a amazing harmonic, clean vocals with harsh vocals you can understand, and having them interplay so well with guitar riffs that one side of this is heavy, then you have this beautiful side to it. A very cohesive unit. I don't think there's anyone else that has come close in the last decade for sure.
I think I would be very surprised if a band wasn't doing something like this. It's just not something I think we're gonna be aware of. If that makes sense. I would love to hear if anyone has an idea.
I might have to go to the place of darkness to get an answer for this, because someone's gonna know. Someone's gonna have an answer. That same place of darkness brought me Morrow, so I'm going to trust that they're gonna bring me something, in the same lane. So, I will go into the land of shadows.
Good. God bless. Good luck. Report back.
I gotta keep my streak up. I'm at 300 days in a row.
I recently got top 1% commenter in r/hardcore, and I was like, "Oh, no, I don't like that."
Well, at least I don't have to show you my lamb goat post count, which was it was
That
excessive.
version of the site is dead, right? Like you can't go find that anywhere.
It's there to some degree, but now there's, like, paywalls for lamb goat. You have to be a member to do certain things. Like, I'm not paying to talk shit anonymously. I have Reddit if I really need the urge to do so, or I can just get on stage and do it to a room full of people and make them miserable. So I have options available to me.
Mm,
But yeah, Alexis, I think just like we've been very lucky to talk about a lot of generational talents on here, I think they might actually be a generational talent
yeah,
because nobody else is doing it. This is a fun little exercise. This is
was a
pretty
fun
cool.
little exercise. I like that I had like 1 or 2 answers where I was like, "This band 100%."
I was mad that you came up with it so quick. Like, God damn. And then I had the mental gymnastics for something like, how are you coming up with that? I don't know, bro. My movie theater's busted. And just kind of being able to like go into it in a different angle. So I think sometimes tackling some of this stuff from a different view and a different angle can be just as rewarding as like hearing everyone's a target and then throwing spin kicks to whoever's near you.
Very much.
Muay Thai stops crowd killing, kid.
Muay Thai stops crowd killing. Coming soon to our merch store. We have merch, Adam.
I mean, eventually, I think it would be cool to have stickers and pins at least.
Maybe we do stickers with just the thing as like a promo.
Yeah, I'm cool with
Let us know in the comments if you want stickers, if you'd put them up places.
yeah, just something like just the logo of the podcast.
I like the logo. I mean, I'm a little biased. I made it, but
I like the logo. I first of all, the let's talk little bit. Let's go a little inside baseball before we sign off for the night. What were the original names we were going to call the show? Do you remember any of them?
just can't Kate enough.
That'll be a
I
solo
think,
episode when I'm sick.
or just can't hate enough. I think. And then you were like, we're just can't Kate enough," and I was like, "That's a stupid pun. I don't like it, but I also don't hate it." Because like, why not? Why not have the title of the show be a sheer terror reference? Just can't hate enough. It's
We're
like,
here to Kate.
you're right. I also don't. I also don't care about the Lower East Side. Sorry. There were some very stupid ones out there.
We're gonna have to go back like really far into the group chats and the conversation.
I don't it might be unattainable. It might involve like a day and a half of scrolling, and I'm not sure if I'm
I can't do it anymore, Captain. I'm giving her all she's got. My finger's falling off.
it's like have to put my thumb in rehab. But
Oh no, my video game thumb.
all right. I need to go to sleep, I think.
You
Or
sound you sound like sleep is coming your way.
whether I want it to or not.
Hey, you start a new thing soon. Reworking the sleep schedule. Not the
Yep.
worst idea.
God. I have to be at work at 7 o'clock again. It's been a while since I've done that. I've been on a 10 to 6:30 schedule, which in itself is its own hell, but
Second shift jobs. Why would you do that to people? Weird.
like that's a weird shift. It's like, oh, it's too early in the morning to do anything beforehand, and it's too late in the day to do anything afterwards. You exist in limbo.
Yeah, fun and social life. Haha. Fuck you.
That's for other people.
That's not for your consumption. You're not allowed. Fun is a no
Not
no.
allowed.
Not allowed. Yeah, this is a fucking great fun time. I'm glad we did the pre-pro for this because sound off in the comments
Yeah.
that I'm bad about talking about music when it comes to Knocked Loose and Ink and Dagger. Come for me in the comments. Come for my head. It's fine.
It's
I'm
fine.
totally I'm totally cool with it.
We like both of those things and wanted to talk about them. If
Yeah.
you don't like that, fuck your mothers.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, suck all my dick from the back.
All right. Well, we have been Adam and Kate plus hate.
Peace. Have a good one, folks. Yeah.